She stepped into the glass-walled conference room at Nextlify, and the air froze. No designer purse, no stilettos, just a quiet woman in faded sneakers, a messy bun, and a plain folder clutched to her chest. The HR director raised an eyebrow, muttering just loud enough to bite. She looks like she raided a thrift store's reject bin. A cocky guy in a tailored suit, another candidate, smirked. We're hiring leaders, not handing out soup kitchen vouchers. Snickers echoed. The panel barely glanced at her resume, eyes raking her like she was a glitch they meant to delete. But Claire Morgan stood steady, face calm, folder in hand. They didn't know the truth. They didn't know the man who forged this tech empire was her husband. Nextlify's Silicon Valley Tower loomed, 50 floors of glass and steel, a juggernaut bending the tech world to its will. The 42nd floor interview room was a power nexus-long oak table, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the valley, screens pulsing with data. Claire, 32, stepped in, brown hair loose in that bun, green eyes sharp yet soft. Her beauty was understated, carved in quiet grace, but her worn jacket and scuffed sneakers branded her an outsider. Beneath that unassuming exterior was a mind that shattered code like ice and a will that didn't break. She'd fought through interview rounds for a senior role, her nights spent crafting systems that powered Nextlify's core. But they didn't see that. They saw a nobody in cheap clothes. The panel sat like a tribunal, 5 suits with faces colder than the glass. Susan Keller, HR director, ruled from the head, her navy blazer crisp, auburn hair in a severe bob. Victor Reed, senior exec, sprawled beside her, gold watch glinting, pen spinning. Ethan Caldwell, 27, trust fund kid, grinned in a suit that screamed wealth, his tie a flashy knot. Rachel Wu, data lead, peered through thin glasses, lips tight. Tom Baxter, operations chief, leaned back, arms crossed, crew cut catching the light. Hundreds had applied for the role. Now it was Claire versus Ethan, but their eyes said the game was already won. Claire handed Susan her resume plain paper, no flair, just her name and a string of understated victories. Susan smirked, passed it to Victor without looking. He flicked it back, scoffing, no need. The pages slid, stopping ask you before Claire. No real experience, mediocre degree, wrong field, Victor said, voice dripping acid, like she'd insulted their floor. Claire straightened, voice even. I've built scalable systems for 8 years. My last startup doubled revenue with my architecture. I'm here to solve problems Nextlify hasn't even named. Ethan laughed, cutting her off. Scalable systems? What, like a food truck app? This isn't a sympathy hire. Susan smirked. She's dreaming. Probably thinks Excel's cutting edge. Rachel leaned in. Your degree's in sociology, right? This is Nextlify, not a coffee shop. Claire corrected. Computer science, AI focus. I've published, Tom interrupted. Published? We need results, not essays. You're sinking. Claire tried again. My last project slashed processing times by Ethan drowned her out. Spare us the fairy tale, kid. No one's buying. Susan grabbed a marker, scrawled, loser, across Claire's resume, ink bleeding as she sneered. That's your title. Ethan hooted. Frame it. Victor clapped. A monument to failure. The panel roared, phones out, filming the defaced pages. Claire stood, ink smearing her fingers as she held it, sneakers rooted. She didn't crack, her calm a shield against their venom. It spread fast. Susan tapped her pen. You're wasting our air. Did you borrow that jacket from a dumpster? Victor chuckled. She's dressed for a yard sale. Where's the bargain bin? Ethan leaned back. Ever seen a boardroom? Maybe on TV. Their laughter ricocheted, sharp and cruel, a pack circling. Claire stayed cool. I'm here to discuss skills, not clothes. Susan rolled her eyes. Skills? Sweetie, you don't have any. Rachel smirked. Try retail. That's your speed. Tom grinned. Yeah, stick to entry level. This isn't a handout. Rachel grabbed a stapler, fired it at Claire's papers, metal punching holes as she hissed. Let's shred the fantasy. Tom laughed. Swiss cheese resume. Susan smirked. Matches her empty head. The pages tore, staples scattering, and Claire bent to gather them, hands steady despite the sting. Rachel kicked them off the table. Trash stays down. Claire's silence was a fortress they couldn't breach. Victor stood. Let's raise the stakes. Surprise test logic and coding, pen and paper. Prove you're not a fake. He shoved a 10-page packet at her. Problems twisted to break even seasoned coders. Claire took it, hands steady. All right. Her pen flew equations, loops, proofs flowing like she'd lived them. 5 minutes passed. Ethan yawned loudly. Susan scrolled her phone. Rachel muttered, "She's scribbling gibberish." Claire slid it back. Done. Victor snatched it, skimmed a corner, then tore it in half, the rip echoing. He tossed it in the trash. Barely passable. Total waste. Ethan grabbed a water pitcher and dumped it over Claire's head, icy liquid soaking her blouse and skirt as he jeered. Cool off, dreamer. Victor cackled. She's a drowned rat now. Rachel snapped a photo. Viral gold. Water dripped down Claire's face, pooling at her sneakers, bun plastered. She didn't flinch, standing firm, her strength aflame they couldn't snuff. Susan dialed her phone. Security now? Intruder alert. Ethan laughed. Escort her out. She's a stain. Tom smirked. Don't slip, honey. 2 guards burst in bulky, badges gleaming. One grabbed her arm. The other yanked her folder. Tom escalated, tearing the folder to shreds, scraps fluttering like snow as he barked. No room for frauds. Susan cheered. Rip her dreams apart. Ethan tossed a pen at her. Write your sob story elsewhere. The shredded bits hit the floor, and Claire knelt to gather them, fingers steady. Tom stomped them into the carpet. Stay down, nobody. Her calm was a rock they couldn't shatter. Move. A guard growled, dragging her to the door. Claire didn't resist, sneakers silent, face composed as Ethan shouted, "Mailroom's hiring." The door slammed, their laughter seeping through. In the elevator, Victor's final jab. He dumped a trash can over her as the guards pulled her, coffee grounds and crumpled paper raining down. "Here's your place," he sneered. Rachel laughed. "Garbage girl perfected." Susan clapped. Fraud's grand exit. Ground stuck to Claire's wet blouse, clinging to her hair. She shook it off, sneakers slipping but spine straight, her green eyes hard. Their cruelty a storm, she weathered unbroken. The lobby hit like a slap marble gleaming. Employees oblivious to the stained woman marched out. A guard shoved her shoulder. "Keep moving." The other tossed her folder into a bin by the exit. "Don't come back," he barked. Claire stepped into the sunlight, coffee staining her shirt, resume trashed, but her eyes stayed clear. She'd faced worse years, proving herself in rooms that rejected her. This wasn't about ego, it was for every person they'd crushed. She dialed Nathan. "It's me." It went bad. His voice tightened. "How bad?" She told him, calm, no tears, the coffee, the test, the guards. "I'm coming," he said. Now. Morning broke with a reckoning. Nextlify's executive floor buzzed an unscheduled board meeting, no mercy. Senior leaders filed in, 30 suits, faces tense, shareholders watching via live feed. The boardroom was a battlefield waiting to spark, oak tables stretching wide, screens glowing, the valley below. Susan sat up front, blazer pristine. Victor spun his pen. Ethan slouched, tie loose. Rachel adjusted her glasses. Tom checked his watch. They thought it was their moment, promotions, bonuses. Then the doors slammed open, and the world shifted. Nathan Holt strode in, 43, tall, dark hair streaked gray, black suit sharp as a blade, blue eyes cold as steel. Nextlify's elusive CEO, a billionaire who'd built the company from nothing, a kid coding in a community center, turning grit into a tech empire feared globally. He'd been a ghost, running things remotely. Everyone stood, chairs scraping, breaths caught. Beside him walked Claire, same stained blouse, same skirt, sneakers tapping, buns swaying, green eyes unyielding. Faces paled. Victor's clattered. Ethan shrank. Rachel's glasses fogged. Tom choked. Nathan stopped, voice lethal. "Sit." They dropped like rocks. He scanned them. "I gave you one task. Evaluate candidates for leadership to show me who's ready. But yesterday, you didn't interview a candidate." He paused, silence a guillotine, then turned to Claire. "You insulted my wife." Gasps ripped through. Susan's hand shook. Victor's jaw dropped. Ethan's chair squeaked. Nathan stepped closer. "Claire and I built Nextlify from scratch, 2 broke kids. No sleep, no money. I wired the circuits, she coded the AI. Every system you profit from? Her mind's the core. You didn't just miss a resume. You humiliated the woman I love most. He pointed Susan, Victor, Ethan, Rachel, Tom. Repeat what you said. Now, to the board. The room choked. Susan stammered. Two didn't. Nathan cut her off. No dodging. Speak. A tech flicked the screen security footage, raw and brutal. Susan's hiss. She looks like a barista applying for a summer gig. Ethan's cackle. Janitor's lounge is that way. Victor's sneer. No experience, wrong degree. Rachel's jab. Try retail. Tom's quip. She's out of her league. Victor again, dressed for a swap meet. Ethan's finale. Mailroom's open. The boardroom froze. Shareholders shifted. Investors glared via the feed. The words were a death knell. Susan's navy blazer was a shroud, her marker a noose. She'd defaced the woman whose code ran their empire, her career now ash. Victor's watch dangled useless, his coffee splash a chain. He'd soaked Nexlify's architect, and the trash he dumped buried him. Ethan's suit hung limp, his water dump a scar. He'd drenched the company's soul, his family's doors now barred. The screen seared their shame into history, every sneer and nail in their coffins. Claire's quiet rised their executioner. Nathan didn't waver. You tore her test solved perfectly, faster than you'd manage. You threw coffee. You called security. Say it again. Susan's lips trembled. I can't. Ethan stared at his shoes. Victor rasped. Mistake. Rachel whispered. We didn't know. Tom croaked. Sorry. Nathan leaned in. Sorry's nothing. You showed me who you are, small, cruel, blind. Nexlify doesn't carry garbage. He nodded to security. Same guards, same polos. Take them. They're done. The room held its breath as guards moved. Susan's blazer dragged. Victor's watch dangled. Ethan's tie flopped. Rachel's glasses slipped. Tom's crew cut bowed. The fallout was swift. Susan, Victor, Ethan, Rachel, Tom fired, badges ripped, marched out as the board watched. Shareholders nodded. Investors typed furiously. Rachel's staples were her waged, shredded Nexlify's foundation, her resume now trash. Tom's folder tearing was a brand ripped apart their world, his stomp echoing as he fell. The boardroom's silence roared with their ruin, their own words the rope that hanged them. Nexlify blacklisted them, names torched across tech. No firm would touch them. Resumes shredded, calls blocked, LinkedIn profiles ghosts. Susan's blazer hit a thrift shop. Victor's watch pawned for bills. Ethan's wealth cut him off. Rachel's glasses sold for scraps. Tom's swagger dust. Their titles, reputations, lives gone in a heartbeat, all for sneering at a woman they didn't see. 6 months later, rain pounded a city bus station. Commuters rushed, umbrellas snapping. Victor Reed slumped against a wall, once a Nexlify exec, now unshaven, jacket tattered, a cardboard sign trembling. Please help. His watch was gone, his sneer a memory, fingers shaking in the cold. Sneakers clicked. Claire, bun still messy, now in a gray coat, paused. She'd just spoken at a tech ethics conference, her words shaping the industry while his world crumbled. She reached into her pocket, dropped a dime into his palm. It gleamed. The man who'd torn her test now clutched her coin. She met his eyes, a faint smile flickering, then walked on, sneakers steady, her strength a quiet storm. That dime wasn't pity, it was justice, cold and sharp. Claire didn't need to shout. She let their rot bury them. She'd forged Nexlify's heart, and they'd spat on it until Nathan burned their world to ash. Now she stood taller while they sank, a lesson etched in their fall. Judge someone by their look, and you might lose everything.